What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Everybody that's coming in at this time, thank you so much to take time out of your day to spend with little old me. Anyone watching this on the replay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So this game went less than great, right? This was this was a rough game for the Lakers in general, and just the team overall. This is not how you wanted the first game with everybody kind of back into the swing of things. But it is what it is. I say it all the time. Don't ride too high on the highs. Don't ride too low on the lows. It happens. You're gonna have bad preseason games. You're gonna have bad regular season games. You're gonna have bad playoff games. Everybody kind of just looked like they didn't want to be out there. It wasn't one person particular. It was a little bit of everybody. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Davis didn't look too great. All the guys like defensively weren't really trying. They weren't really trying to rebound. They weren't really trying to do anything. It just kind of looked like this was a game that they went into and were like, it is what it is. Like, and I would have liked to see a little more, a little more fight, a little more, consistency. That was rough. Also, just nobody could knock down shots tonight. Nobody could knock down shots tonight. But in the same breath, I don't want people to overreact. I don't want to overreact to this game. It just, a lot of it, I believe, is tied into preseason. And it's something that I've talked about as far as rebounding and stuff. You see a lot in preseason. Guys don't fight for boards. Guys don't go chase boards like they usually would in the regular season. It's kind of just, like, if you got better position on me, I'm just going to let you go get the board. The only real standout I thought was Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker looked great. Lonnie Walker looked really good. And I really like him in the starting lineup. I think that he's a guy that could definitely slide in at the 2 or even the 3 in certain matchups, stuff like that. But again, it's not overreact. It was one game. Nobody was knocking down shots. Everybody looked like they hadn't played in a month. Patrick Beverly, LeBron James, even Russ. They didn't play for a week and a half, stuff like that. It's not a big deal. Stuff happens. I don't want to just take this as like, oh, look, it sucks and this sucks, and people are going to overreact. That's just what they do. But it's one game. You can't take too much from just an overall bad game. There wasn't anybody outside of, like I said, Walker that looked great. Now, as far as Russ goes, I actually really liked what I saw from Russ today. Now, box score wise, he's not really going to stand out to you, but he looked in control. He looked like a guy that was trying to get other people involved. He looked like a guy that wasn't trying to force the issue, rush his shots. I mean, he only took 3 field goals. And I really like that. Now, free throws, that was disappointing. I wish he would have, knocked down his free throws. But, I mean, he had 5, 4, and 3 in 25 minutes of play. But he was in control. And I like that. I like to see that. I like to see, even though he has had a bad preseason game overall, everybody did, again. But the things that I liked that from Russ was that he wasn't trying to force the issue. He wasn't trying to force shots. He was in the scope of the game, which I like. He didn't do too many things. He didn't do any really terrible things today. It was a bad game for him. It was a bad game for everybody in general. I just chalked this up as, look, it was a bad game. That's what it was. Vogel type lineup tonight. Look, it's preseason. Let's not overreact. Again, it's preseason. This is the time you test lineups, you test players, you see what you got, you see this, you see that. That's what this is about. If this was the 10th game into the season, I'd be like, yeah, this is probably not a time to to test that. Let's get back to what's working. But it's preseason. Let's relax on just the stuff. Don't take preseason too seriously. Look at most of the teams that are undefeated in preseason are all pretty bad teams or middle of the pack teams. Most of the good teams have only won one game, or haven't won a game at all, stuff like that. What's going on, Cheapskate? I appreciate you. Another freight comeback. All right. Hey, look, that was That was rough. Who knows what would happen? I don't know why they fouled. Like they should have just let. I don't know why they fouled. That was rough. That was not something you want to see happen. But nonetheless, they did. It was a loss. Again, it's preseason. I'm not one of those days. Look, it'll be okay. Small ball isn't going to work. Look, it was one game and nobody hit shots. Nobody. Like it was a rough game. If guys were hitting shots, it would have made things so much different. Guys looked terrible. Everybody looked terrible. AD didn't look good out there tonight. But like I said, nobody but like LeBron, and even he looked kind of lackadaisical out there at times. But outside of Walker, nobody looked really committed tonight. Nobody looked like a guy that like they wanted to be here. As it stands, Lakers did another fake comeback. Westbrook played too many minutes with LeBron tonight. Westbrook and Beverly do not work together in the starting. It was one game, and it's a preseason game. Let's relax again. What's up? LeBron was the only one that kind of wanted to be out there. I still think he looked lackadaisical. I mean, he played solid. He played pretty decent. I think the only one that really looked like he wanted to be out there was Walker. So it sucks that he tweaked his ankle. Small ball leads to small results. Again, guys weren't making it down. Scrap this lineup and go back to big. Look, it's preseason. We got to test it. You got to run it again the next preseason game and see. What happens if it works the next game? Then everyone is going to be like, oh, see, look, it's the best lineup in the world. Or if it worked tonight, everyone would be like, see, this is why. Like, look, there's going to be good results. It's going to be bad results. It's not like nobody played good. Nobody did. This was a bad game. Like defensively, no one was rotating. No one was trying to stop the ball. Guys were getting wide open looks. Nobody was trying to rebound. I mean, it was more than just not making shots. This was just a really bad game. But we can't ride too high on the highs. We can't ride too high on the lows. Even the games that they've looked great. I've said, it's great. It's great that they look good, but we gotta, put things in perspective. AD doesn't like playing the 5 spot. He does it. And I don't think he's going to play the 5 spot much. I think certain matchups he will. And look, even the small ball lineup, I don't think is going to happen a lot. I don't think they're going to start that a lot because I don't think they're going to play AD at the 5 a lot. I think certain match, like against the Warriors, you could play small. Against, the Clippers, you could play small. Like Anthony Davis at the 5, you can match up with that. Against the Warriors, like he's going to eat Draymond. He's going to eat, Looney. He's going to eat Wiseman. You're good there. The Clippers, all they have is Zoo. Outside of Zoo, like they have 2 rookies. Like you're not worried about that. He's going to eat those people alive. Again, it'll be okay. And Walker gets hurt. It was an ankle tweak. It'll be all right. It's preseason. They're not gonna have him push it and risk hurting himself. Yo, what's up, man? How you doing? I am wonderful. Another beautiful day. Another beautiful game. We're here. We're talking. And let's continue to dive into it. I appreciate you. Lonnie was great. Hopefully he'll heal up quick. Was an ankle sprain, right? Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, I don't know how severe it was, but we'll find out tomorrow. But I imagine, look, it's just going to be one of those things. Russ really isn't a fit. Nothing against him, but this is very much not it as a fit. He was very in control. I like what I saw from him. You liked what you saw from Russ? Shaking my head. Okay, logging off. All right, see you later. I mean, hey, look, there's more to basketball than scoring. There's more to basketball and stuff like that. It's just, look, he had positives. Was he the best player on the court today? No, but nobody was. Everybody was terrible. The problem is so many people want to just blame Russ for everything and accuse Russ of everything. Like the dude, like what does he have to do? The guy plays in control. The guy, is playing within the system. The guy's not going and trying to pad his stats. The guy's like, and he sucks. And then if he goes and tries to do that stuff, he sucks. Like you got to take the goods. It's a preseason game. Like let's relax. People love to just overreact to everything. This is the time in which you want to test stuff. This is the time where you want to see lineups work. Like, all the people that are like, Westbrook is trash and da-da-da-da. What are you going to say if he's great this season? Like, what are you going to say? You're going to be like, I want everybody, if he is great this season and just fantastic, I want all the same people to be like, he's still trash. He still sucks. I don't want to hear anybody rooting for Russ. If the Lakers win the championship, don't root for Russ. Don't do anything. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be a great fit. I'm not saying he's going to be a great player. I'm not saying I think he is a great player, but I don't know what he's going to be. But he looked great outside of today, he still bought and played within the system, and he still gets trash. Like, let the guy, like, how, what is he supposed to do? It's just silly to me. It makes no sense. Preseason is looking at different lineups. Exactly, Bridget. Like, that's the point. Try different things, test different things, see what the results can be, see what they could do. The last thing you want to do is do that during the regular season. What's going on, Dustin? Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. Bro, Russ doesn't fit. Lakers need wings. Who's out there though? Which wings are out there? There aren't any. You're not gonna find some magical wing player that's gonna save the day. You're just not. It's not gonna happen. But all we can do is just run with what we got, play with what we got, work within the system and see what ends up, developing. That's what it's about. Who challenges in preseason? Exactly. Man, I don't think Russ should start. No hate, not at all at him, but he just doesn't fit. Look, he looked fine the last several games. He did. So did everybody else. Everybody turned the ball over. So Russ had 3 turnovers. Beverly had 4. LeBron had 3. Davis had 2. Reeves had 2. Kendrick Nunn had 2. Like, everybody did. It wasn't just Russ. Like, we got to stop scapegoating Russ for everything. Not everything is Russ's fault. Like, everybody looked bad today. This was a bad game across the board. 1 through 15 today. Everybody looked horrible. Bro, Russ played horrible. Explain to me. The guy took 3 shots, played within the system, played within control. Yes, he had 3 turnovers, which isn't good, but everybody turned the ball over today. The guy didn't try to force the issue. The guy didn't try, like, even if he scored 30, people would be like, oh, look, he played bad today. Like, whatever. Shooting was horrible tonight. That's what it was. Russ would have had probably more assists. It would have opened the floor more. It would have done a lot of things. Who knows what would have happened if it was. What else? Russ was horrible. Stop it. Okay, sure. That's, think whatever you want to think. It doesn't matter. I had to cut the game off early. The shooting was so bad. It was awful. Nobody could shoot the basketball today. This was a rough go around, an absolute rough go around. Russ played pretty bad tonight, dude. I'm not sure what there was to like. There was a lot to like. Again, playing in control, playing within the system. Here's the problem. Everybody wants Russ to play a specific way. When he plays that way, everybody just immediately blames him. Like, the guy didn't force the issue. He wasn't trying. Like, he got the ball, and usually Russ goes 3-on-1. But no, he slowed it up, let the offense come. He was setting screens, fighting, playing defense, trying to contest shots, running out. Like, there's more to basketball than just putting the ball in the hoop, having inflated stats, things like that. When Russ has inflated stats, everyone just blames him for having inflated stats. When he doesn't, and he's looking for guys, and he's trying to get guys involved, and he's trying to make the plays, and he's trying to play within the system and operate within the system, he's terrible. Like, there's more to basketball than just him putting up 30 a night, putting up a triple-double every night. Like, it's just, if they would have won today and looked great, and Russ played the same way, it would have been a different conversation. Nobody played good. Nobody. LeBron is old. He's going down soon. Heavy sarcasm. LeBron, man, dude, for his age and everything, that dude is something else. AD and Bron look good. AD didn't look that great. He was very lackadaisical today. Look, he put up decent stats, but he wasn't great. I mean, he had 19 points, 27 minutes. He did give 13 rebounds and 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. So he filled the stat sheet, but it wasn't a Anthony Davis dominant-esque performance. There was a lot of him just kind of, standing around. Everybody had a bad game. How did you not watch the game? Everybody had a bad, that was terrible. Tell me one player outside of Walker and LeBron that had a good game. Again, watch the game. LeBron and AD had good games. The Timberwolves played their scrubs, and we still couldn't hang. Yeah, it was a bad game all around. I don't know, bro. We had all of our starters out, and they was short 2 of the best, and we still lost. Again, it's preseason. It's not overreact to don't react to the highs. Don't react to the lows. Got to stay even kill. When can we expect the real Lakers, to show up? Right? Hopefully against the Warriors. Nunn and Dennis played better. Got to play better. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they both played terrible. Look, but we've seen what Nunn is capable of. We've seen how good Nunn can be. Dennis just got with the team. So him having a rough game, I'm not really that concerned of it. But yeah. I said to get rid of Russ Westbrook for the season. He is very bad. He is not very bad. Okay, I like you, but if you said Russ looked good tonight, I can't consider you credible or honest. I feel like you're just biased towards him no matter what he does. All right, well, hey, peace. Have fun. Stop capping. AD looked good. He did not look good. He filled the stat sheet, but he wasn't contesting. He was very lackadaisical in moments. He was very just a little all over the place at times. The classic Laker fake comeback gave me PTSD, right? Facts. That's the point. That's the point, bro. No shooting tonight. We don't have great shooters. We don't have great shooters, absolutely. But we have decent shooters. It was a rough night. Are we going to have nights like this? Probably. Are we going to have, the good and the bad? Yeah, probably. But it was just, again, energy, effort, things on the defensive end, stuff like that. It was tough. No Cat, no Gobert preseason or not. This was a disappointing loss. It was a disappointing loss. Absolutely. I have no complaints about that at all. Schroeder still can't put the ball where AD can actually do something with it. It's pretty bad. He puts AD in horrible positions to score. Look, he just got with the team Monday. He's had one practice. You got to give him time. I'm sorry. What offense you getting out of Russ and Pat playing together? Based on what we saw tonight, not a ton. Russ can still generate offense. How did Bron look bad at all? I wouldn't say. He wasn't dominant, but it's preseason. He looked good. Him and Walker were the only two that really showed up tonight. Really showed up tonight at all. One preseason game, and everybody thinks they know exactly what this team is. Thank God this team isn't being ran by fast. I say the same thing over and over again. We look great every game this preseason with the rotation guys and the starters. We have one bad game, and the sky is falling. Like, look, was it a bad game? Absolutely. Did everybody play terrible? Absolutely. Was this a bad loss? Absolutely. But again, it's one game in preseason with Darvin Ham testing lineup, seeing what he got. Guys weren't hitting shots. Guys weren't playing defense. There was no energy. Like, across the board, this was just a bad game. Lonnie gets injured again, starting to believe he's injury prone. He doesn't have a history of it, so can't say that. That's what I'm saying. Bron looked great. Yeah, LeBron was good. LeBron and Walker were great. Like and subscribe, my peeps. Yes, that is correct. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Look, whether we agree or disagree or whatever, it's sports conversations. YouTube, it's what this is all about. Having good conversations, having discussions, talking about the good, bad, and the ugly, which today was pretty ugly, but nonetheless, it is what it is. But yes, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, help me get that subscriber count up. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Cheapskate. I really appreciate you. Laker fans, when the Lakers win a preseason game, 2023 champs. Laker fans, when the Lakers lose a preseason game, this team is garbage, not make the playoffs. We overreact. It's the preseason. Exactly. Thank you. Couldn't say it better myself. It'll be fine. I know it's preseason, but we didn't look good at all. Lakers really need shooters. Look, even our shooters couldn't shoot today. Like the two guys that we count on to shoot, like that we are looking at to maybe bring on as shooters, didn't look good today. It was a bad game. Bad games happen. It's preseason. Guys aren't going 100%. Guys aren't actively doing whatever. Like, it happens. If Lakers keep Westbrook, we are done. I hate this. Hey, look, I think Westbrook will be fine. We haven't seen him play a regular season game yet. How do we assume we know how it's going to go? And you can't compare it to last season, because last season we had a completely different roster. We had a completely different coach with different systems, different everything. That team was slow. That team was so many things. This is a different year. Pat Bev calling a team huddle, Russ not joining is something to pay attention to. Yeah, those little things are definitely. I agree with you on that. With a long 82-game season, it's hard for players to get up for these meaningless preseason games. This is simply to get looks at different lineups. Exactly. LeBron himself has said that he doesn't take preseason serious. Like, he's literally said that he doesn't take preseason serious, and he doesn't care about preseason. Like, he's literally said that. What's more likely, Halloween Ends being a good movie or Lakers missing the playoffs? More likely, I'd probably say Lakers missing the playoffs because I just think Halloween Ends is going to be trash. I think that's going to be exactly. Thoughts on Gabriel? Does he need more time? I think he's a good energy guy. Like, I wouldn't play Gabriel ample minutes. Like, if you're playing Gabriel 20 plus minutes, that's probably not a good thing. But if you're playing him, 10, 15 minutes, I think he can be effective. He's a high energy guy. Can't really shoot. Like, he's a jump shot away from being like a really solid player in this league, but he just doesn't have it yet. I definitely think he's worth keeping around and kind of developing. And if he can get a shot, because he's still very young, still has provides a lot of just energy and a guy that can be aggressive, stuff like that. He has his moments where he looks really good. Russ doesn't fit. It's so simple. We haven't seen them play a regular game, and he looked fine the previous games today. This Russ hate Jesus. I know it doesn't make sense to me. What else? This dude don't get it. Russ doesn't fit, and he doesn't look comfortable. Simple. Sure. Again, we haven't played not one regular season game. Can we let them play a couple games first and see what happens? Like, Russ looked fine the previous games. Like, it's a bad game. It happens. Lakers are not winning the championship. The Lakers are not going to win no championship unless a super trade happens. Never say never. You never know what is going to happen. Stranger things could happen. I know it's one game, but this game gave me 2022 season flashbacks. Yeah, I mean, this was a rough game. Don't get me wrong. This was rough. But again, we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Tuesday will be here before we know it. This game at least has one value. It proves everything you shouldn't do to your lineups that I have been talking about from day one. Yeah, I mean, look, I think we need to go back to it just to see, because don't want to get too high. You don't know. Like, it was a bad shooting night. It was a bad night, period, for everybody. Let's see. Laker fans, Laker need wings. Yeah, Buffalo hot wings. They should have signed more instead of all these guards. Who could they? That's my problem. Is who could they have signed? We got everybody that was out there free agency wise. There was no miracle 3-and-D guy that was available outside of Order Porter, but he went to Toronto because of his wife. Like, he literally said, I went there because of my wife. I believe people forget the Lakers have an entire new team trying to gel, and the Timberwolves have been together for a few years. Exactly. We watched him play terrible for a whole season, and you just pushed it under the rug because he can play good for a preseason game. He's the same Russ. This is the problem. Again, this is you're taking a team that we don't even have anymore, a coach that we don't even have anymore, a system that we don't even have anymore. There are so many factors. You cannot compare Russell Westbrook to last season because it's not the same situation. It's not. You have an entirely different team, an entirely different culture, systems in place, Russ's role, identified. Like, there are so many things that go into this season compared to last season. And I'm not saying that Russ is going to be good. I'm not saying that Russ, maybe it is terrible, but we don't know off of one preseason game where he played bad and the entire team played bad. That's not what he looked fine the past few games. He's setting screens. He's fighting over picks. He's playing under control. He's doing everything that was asked of him. It's been 2 weeks. Like, give the guy some time. Give the guy some slack. Look, if he's terrible this season, then he's terrible this season. And I'll be the first to say he's just awful this season. But how do we know? We don't. It's like I said earlier, I want everybody to have the same type of just feeling towards Russ if he works. If Russ has a great year this year and we win the championship or something crazy, I don't want to hear these same people that are like, Russ sucks and say, I don't want to hear them like, Russ is the guy, like da-da-da. No, keep that same thing. Because I'm operating on the mantra of I don't know how this is going to look because we haven't played a game yet. So let's wait and see before we just jump to assumptions and conclusions when we've played, 5 preseason games and Russ has played 3 of those 5, and in the other 2 he looked great. He looked fine. He was operating within the system. The previous game Russ played, everybody was talking about how great he looked and how he was doing this and he was doing that. And if we can have that kind of Russ, then maybe we have a shot. And then he has one bad game and everyone flips on him again. So what is it? What is it? Is it, if Russ plays great, there's got to be some consistency. People overreact. Everybody was off tonight. Exactly. It's just, it makes no sense to be like, let's wait and see. Everybody's acting like they know for a fact that this is how it's going to work. And this is how it's going to turn out. And this is how this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, nobody knows. None of us do. Laker fans, Lakers need wings. Me, okay. What wings are out there that we can realistically sign or trade for now? Also them. Exactly. That's my point. Who's out there that's going to save the day? There is nobody out there that is going to save the day right now. Nobody out there. We're not saying it's Russ's fault. He just doesn't fit. 3 shots for $47 million. Again, he's playing within the system. If he would have taken 10 shots, everybody would have said, oh, look, it's not about the shots. It's about what is he doing beyond shooting and scoring. Yes, are there going to be games where he scores 25? Sure. There's probably going to be games that he scores 7. It's not about his stats. It's about what does he do on the court. There's more to him taking shots and jacking up and scoring a bunch of points. There's a lot more to the game of basketball than that. And what is Russ doing? Is Russ playing defense? Is Russ setting the screens? Is Russ playing controlled? Is Russ taking good shots? Is Russ those are all things that we want to see. And that's what we have seen so far. Now, will it translate to wins in the regular season? I don't know yet because we're not there yet. That's my point. That's the problem. Lakers aren't doing the Pacers trade. It's that simple. Yeah, exactly. It's not just the turnovers. He had 5 points in 25 minutes. We can get those numbers from somebody else like a shooter. But look, if he would have scored 10 points on 20 shots, or let's say he scored 15 points on 30 shots, he still would have been. It's not about the shots. It's not about him putting up 30 points a game and stuff like that. It's can he play within a system? Can he fit within the system? Can he do what is asked of him? And as long as he is doing those things, then we got to give him a shot. We got to give him a chance. Let's see what he can do in the regular season. Let's see how this is going to work and how all of this is going to unfold. Maybe it doesn't work. You may be right, but we don't know. We have no idea what is going to happen and what the result's going to be because we haven't played a regular season game yet. All I'm saying is let's play a couple regular season games. What if Russ against the Warriors goes off for 25, 10, and 10, and we win by 20? Is everyone going to still feel the same way? Let's play a couple games and see how it goes. Russ will get traded midseason. They're playing for patience for a better deal. Hey, look, if a proper deal is on the table, I absolutely think that there is stuff that I absolutely think if a proper deal is on the table that the Lakers will make that deal. If there's a deal that they believe is value, which I do think there will be some eventually, just because the whole Victor Wembanyama thing, that's going to open up a lot of teams that are hey, let's just embrace the take, especially teams that are borderline, stuff like that. So I really think the Lakers may end up finding a really good deal. Dude's really out here begging for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Dude, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner have looked atrocious in Summer League so far. That didn't take long for Russ to revert back to his old ways. The dude took 3 shots. What are you talking about? Resort back to his old ways. Russ only had 1 live turnover. The other 2 were stepping out of bounds. Exactly. And for whatever reason, that corner, we had 5 or 6 guys do that. It was insane. But yeah, you're right. Russ only had 1 live ball turnover, which is good. Cold Swider, yeah, he has been tough. Tonight scared me. This team looked really bad without a big wing defender. Look, it's 1 bad game. I don't want to react to 1 bad game. We look good the other games, but 1 bad game. People really acting like this win, this is the preseason. Yeah, it's a preseason game. It's not that. It's not about overreact. Were there things of concern? Of course. Are there things we need to improve on and work on? Of course. But we shouldn't just sell the team because we had a bad preseason game. If this was game 6 of the first round of the playoffs, then yeah, I could understand some panic. I could understand some concern. I'd be like, okay, I understand all these points. But that's not what this is. This is a preseason game. It's the 5th game in the preseason. You had Patrick Beverley, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder. All these guys didn't play for like a week and a half. Like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have games. Turnover after turnover after turnover, poor shooting by everyone not named James, AD, and Lonnie. Yeah, exactly. Yes, agreed. It was rough. Well, LeBron had he was tied for the highest amount of turnovers. So there's more to basketball than just putting the ball in the hoop. Yeah, how about not stepping on the baseline for 2 forced turnovers within 5 minutes? He's the point guard. Jeez, how many guys did that tonight? Like, even Richard Jefferson was like, what is going on with that baseline tonight? Like, look, was it a terrible mistake? Absolutely. We need wings. I agree, but the problem is there aren't any out there. These fans are toxic, man. The entire team couldn't make a 3, and they're blaming Russ. That's my point. Like, this entire stream has been about how Russ is trash, and it's not. They're acting like he's the only one that like played bad. This entire team played terrible today. There was nothing. At least Russ was in control. At least Russ didn't jack up shots. Like, Russ wasn't the greatest today, but he had positives that you could take away. You know, it's just like, it makes no sense to me that everybody's just like got their pitchforks right now trying to blame Russ for this. Like, I haven't seen one person talk about anybody else but Russell Westbrook. This entire chat has been about Russell Westbrook is trash. He doesn't fit this, that, the other. Like, what about everyone else? Like, again, Russell Westbrook is the fandom scapegoat, and it makes no sense to me. Like, if he plays terrible this year, fine. Then he plays terrible this year, and we'll address it accordingly. But he hasn't even had a chance yet, and everybody looked bad today. Russ can't be the reason for bad results every single time. There are other players on the court besides Russell Westbrook. I have no problems with Russ getting criticized when he has a bad game or things like that. But if he has 10 good games and 1 bad game, it's not a cause to grab a pitchfork and accuse him of being just terrible again. And it's like, oh, he resorted to, like, let the product speak for itself. Let's see what ends up happening. This was a bad game all around, and everybody just says, oh, it's Russell Westbrook. It's Russell Westbrook. Like, you know, like, relax. Everybody was bad. Do you even watch the games? Of course I do. I don't think you're able to pick up on things saying Russ looked good tonight. Or you're just looking at specific things. Like, I'm looking at the scope of his play. I'm looking at, is he setting screens? Is he playing under control? Is he sharing the ball? Is he trying to get other guys involved? Is he, actually engaged and invested? All of these things. There's more to basketball and Russ's role than just putting the ball in the hoop and taking 30 shots. That's not what we need. If Russ took 30 shots, then everybody would say the same thing. There's more to Russ and his role than just scoring the basketball. There's more to basketball than just scoring the basketball. Was Russ getting out and contesting shots? He was. There were several times where he wasn't even the defender and ran out to do a closeout. Like, all of those things are important for the season going forward. Those are all things of value that we should look at and go, those are positive signs. That's what preseason is about. What are the things that are working and are good that we can take and build on? And what are the things that are bad that we need to work on and improve on come season time? Russ is not perfect, but at least he's buying in and trying. That's what everyone wanted, right? And now he is, and he still can't win. Things are going to take time. He's going to improve. He's only going to get better. Things are going to continue if he continues. Of course, if he starts resorting back to his old ways and just, decides to play Russell Westbrook the way Russell Westbrook wants to play, that might be a different story. But if he stays within the scope of what he's been doing, then he's going to have success in the long run. And that's what it's about. Let me see. This game is good film session. Exactly, Trevor. This was an excellent film session game. This is something that they all need to sit down and have a legit conversation. Just go over all the tape, go over all the discussions, and just say, okay, like, this is what it is. Y'all want Russ to not shoot, and when he don't shoot, y'all still blame him. Y'all got to make up your own minds. Exactly. That's my point. It's like when he takes 20 shots, he's shooting too much. When he takes no shots and tries to get other involved, he's not shooting enough. Like, what is he supposed to do? The story tomorrow would be Russ rejecting the team model. Yeah, that was definitely something interesting. That was something that I question. I wonder if there was something to that, or if there was something, or maybe there was just some communication. I don't know. Russ not joining the huddle while we're resident. He needs to go. That again, that was definitely not something you want to see. Not something you want to see at all. What do you think about Russ ignoring Pat's tree? I don't think that was good at all. That's something that he needs to be in, needs to buy in. I definitely knock him for that. Like, he can't be doing that stuff. Can't be doing that stuff at all. Huge fan, bro. But why do we have a guy like Russ with LeBron and AD when we know they work better with shooters? Not blaming Russ, just not what we need. Because we have Russ and there's nothing out there to fix that problem currently. And so you have to do your best to make it work with Russ. I don't think Russ is going to play a lot with LeBron this season. They're running sets. They're trying to build the chemistry. Again, it's preseason. They're trying to figure things out, trying to see like what sets work. Like, like Russ, when he was operating in that pick and roll, he was killing it, right? Like the previous game he played, he was really good in operating that pick and roll. That's something that you can take as a positive and build on, right? Now, there's no dead eye shooters out there that's going to save the day. There's no, defensive guys out there that are going to save the day. Like, we have Russ right now in the situation. So what can we do to best utilize Russell Westbrook and make him as effective and efficient as possible? That's what Darvin Ham has to figure out. He's going to run some sets, some moments, some game time with LeBron and Anthony Davis. But I do think a lot of his play time will be opposite of LeBron. So, he'll very likely scatter their minutes. I don't think Westbrook and LeBron are going to play a ton of minutes together. I think they play probably 10 to 15 minutes at most together. Would probably be my guess, somewhere around there. I mean, some games may be better than others. If they're both playing great together, then yeah, you want to keep that going. You don't want to, mess up those moments, those chemistries, things like that. But if they are, if they're just both kind of playing so-so or whatever, then I think that they'll be different. Hopefully the Lonnie injury isn't anything like Nunn's preseason one last season. Early similar though, timing and type. Yeah, I agree. But they said difference was Nunn's was like his leg. Like, he had a bone bruise in his leg. Lonnie, they said, was just an ankle sprain. So we'll see how severe it was. It was obvious tonight that Darvin Ham is experimenting with lineups. Exactly. And that's what he's probably going to do the next game too. He's going to experiment with lineups because that's what preseason is about. Experience with lineups, see what you have, see what lineups work, what lineups don't, this, that, and the other. That's what it's all about. That's what it is all about. Let's see. For the right deal, I'll definitely trade Westbrook, but I'm not attracted to unprotected picks to him just for the sake of making a trade. Winning organizations still do that. Exactly. Like, look, if the right deal comes to the table, absolutely, you got to make that deal, especially if it's for a trade that one makes you better this year and potentially for the future. You got to do that deal. You do. But does that right deal materialize? I don't know if it will. Although I do think the likelihood is much higher because I think you're going to have a ton of teams that really want to tank for Victor, that are really going to want to tank for Victor. So I think that that's going to have a huge impact in and of itself. It's not even on Russ. We need shooters, and Russ has to be one to get traded to get them. The problem is like what shooters are out there? Because, I mean, even Buddy Hield has been terrible this preseason. Granted, it's preseason, right? And one shooter isn't going to save the day. We need multiple shooters. Problem is we don't have that. Bro, please stop always making excuses for the Lakers. So stubborn. It's not excuses when it's reality. Are we in a preseason game? Was this a preseason game? Yes or no? Was this game 7 of the playoffs? Was this, you don't have to overreact to every single game. It's even in an 82-game season, there's going to be games like this. All teams have games like this. There are going to be good games. There are going to be bad games. But not every bad game, there has to be a major overreaction. What is the consistency? What do we look like over a sample size? It's not just about one preseason game that we look terrible. Every other preseason game, we looked great with our rotations and starters. Every single one of them. Like, but now we have one bad game as a unit, and it's like everybody just is losing their minds. It's one preseason game. We're probably going to have several of those in the regular season, as all teams do. It's not about making excuses. It's about understanding the situation and realizing what the situation is. And it's that it's one preseason game. I'm not going to overreact to one game. Just like if Russ has a game where he scores 50, I'm not going to overreact if he's playing terrible the whole season. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is the moment Russ turns it around. Like, it's what is consistently happening. You know, there's going to be variables throughout. There's going to be good games that are just not the norm, and there's going to be bad games that are not the norm. But what are we consistently over a season, over a series, over things like that? There's more to just games than just looking at games game in and game out. And there's always good positive takeaways. That's the point. That's how teams get better. If the teams just dwelled and just looked at every game that they played terrible, and we're like, well, we suck. Like, how good is that team going to improve? How are they going to be better? Like somebody said earlier, I think Trevor said earlier, this is a great film game. This is a game that you sit down with your team and you go over everything and you break it down and you take this as a stepping block to improve and get better. That's what this is about. That's what this is for. Pat Beverly trying to shoot contested threes is a problem. He is a good open three shooter. That's it. Yeah, I didn't like some of his shot selection at all. I wasn't really big on that at all. Damian Jones is going to be our best shooter. Let's go. Hey, he did. He looked pretty good tonight. He's been the same his whole career. Don't matter the team. Russ has sacrificed every team he's gone to. Do you not remember how he was in Houston? Like, they were terrible in the beginning, and then he started playing off the ball and becoming a slasher, and they went on like a 15-game win streak or something like that. They were really good. Like, I mean, they weren't great because they just didn't have the rest of the talent around there, and then they ran into the Lakers, who that were great, and then they kind of just forced Russ to shoot threes, which he's playing better under control. Even when they're giving him that shot, he's not forcing it. I love that. That's great. That's a positive thing that we could take and build on. You know, like, he's trying. The fact that he's trying to make the effort is worth something. You know, like, how would you feel if you did something wrong and you're trying everything you can to improve and be better, but everybody just keeps throwing in your face your one mess up or your mess up? You know, that's what it is. Russ had one bad season. As bad of a season as he had, he still put up 18, 7, and 7, played every game for us that he could play. The Lakers sat him for a couple, but would have played every game for us, was our leading rebounder and assist maker. And the only reason he didn't lead the team in scoring was because LeBron led the league in scoring. Like, and he was a terrible fit. Yes, it was a terrible season in general. He didn't have a role carved out, nothing. But even in a bad year, he still was good. He still made sacrifices, still made changes to his game. Like, but it just wasn't what they needed at that time. Darvin Ham, in like 2 weeks, has gotten Russ to play defense, fight over screens, be controlled, all of those things. Those are all positives. Why do you just dwell on the negatives? Why can't we take the positives in a preseason and say, these are great things to build on? These are great things, and I'm glad he's showing the adjustments and the improvements. I'm glad that he's trying to make the change. Will he continue to do that over an 82-game season? We'll see. We haven't played one regular season game yet. So let's see what ends up being the result. You know, what if Russ is great this year and buys into the system and he fits everything and everything looks great and feels great and all that stuff? Like, everyone's just assuming that we know what the result is. Russ has never fought over screens and played defense and chased closeouts and set picks and, you know, played off the ball and ran the pick and roll. All of these things he has not done. But guess what? He's doing it for Darvin Ham and he's doing it for these Lakers. So why can't we just be excited for the change and adjustment when all of us were preaching this entire offseason? If they can't trade him, Russ needs to do this, that, and the other. And when he's doing this, that, and the other, he's still the bad guy. doesn't make sense to me. Like, let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can adjust and conform to that role and be better. There's a lot of game left. We haven't played one regular season game yet. Let's see where this goes. I would like to see TB or DJ more. Yeah, definitely. And I do think we'll see some more of them. I believe the Kings went undefeated in preseason last year. How did that go for them? Yeah, I think they're undefeated in preseason this year. Most of the teams that are really good in preseason are the young teams that never turn out to be anything. Like, that's just usually how it goes. Let's look in general. So here, let's do something in real time. So you have OKC is 4-1. Orlando is 3-1. You have Minnesota, who's now 4-0 because they didn't update that. The Pelicans are 3-1. Atlanta is 3-1. You have, what's another bad team that is doing good? Sacramento is 2-0. So again, and then you have teams like Memphis that are 2-2. Cleveland is 1-2. Boston is 2-1. Toronto is 2-2. You have Brooklyn is 1-2. Like Dallas is 1-1. Like Denver is 1-2. Like, it's preseason. That's how this works. That's how this goes. I know Schroeder just got back with the team, but he and AD have a whole season of playing together. Why do you expect differently? Tonight, B showed he still can't deliver the ball to AD correctly. How many minutes did he even play, for one? And how many minutes did he actually play with Anthony Davis? So you had Dennis Schroeder play 9 minutes, and he played 3 with Anthony Davis. Like, look, I'm not saying that it will. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, how do you figure that? How do you know what that'll be? Dennis Schroeder's also not the same player he was. He seems more humbled and together. Again, I'm operating on the idea of I don't know what's going to happen because we haven't played a regular season game yet. What if the Lakers start 2-0 this? What if they beat the Warriors and the Clippers? And we look great those 2 games. Like, is everyone going to feel the same way that they do right now? We know from last year the results. How many players on this team were on the team last year? How many coaches on the team this year were on the team last year? It's not the same thing. It's nowhere close. Nowhere close. I feel for you as it stands, Lakers. How are you supposed to have a conversation with so many low IQ people? They'd be happy if you just got on here and said Lakers suck, good night. That's what people want. People want to buy in. I'm just not that guy. Like, I'm just not. Like, there's plenty of people on here on YouTube that are more than happy to say, yeah, Lakers suck. The end of the world is this, that, and the other. That's not the reality. It's just not what it is. Like, there's more to basketball, especially in the preseason, than wins and losses, and more to basketball than just having an off night, nobody scoring, stuff like that. Like, it's just what it is. Those entry passes to 80 are horrible. Yeah, but people are closing in on 80. It's gonna be it's gonna be like that all season. They're gonna have to adjust and try to figure that out. They gotta chill, man. Play a regular season game first. Exactly. Let's play a game first before we know how this is gonna go. One thing we know for sure is that LeBron's going to break the scoring record. Yeah, I definitely think that. Everyone on the planet knows Russ doesn't fit, but y'all acting like we can just trade him for whoever we want. We are stuck with him. Exactly. You got to try to make him work. There is no savior out there, at least currently, that we can just magically solve all our problems and all our issues. There's not. So we are with Russ, and we need to figure out how to make him effective. And he's at least trying to buy it. Now, will it work out? Who knows? I don't know. But I'm not ignorant enough to just assume that he's going to be awful. Because not just that, but if I do, and I come on here and Russ is great, then how does that make me look? How does that make me look as a content creator and as somebody in this space? I'm operating of, I don't know. Here are the things that Russ is working on and has improved in and is actually showing change and sacrifice. These are positives. Let's talk about those. That's what this is about. Russ, I don't know how Russ is going to be this year. For all I know, he could be absolute garbage or he could be great and we're really good and everybody's going to be Russ is the greatest and everyone's entire perspective is going to change. But you know what I'll have? I'll have receipts to show this is where I was, this is how consistent I was, this is what I've talked about, this is the thing that I've done. Same thing if he's terrible. I'll have the receipts to show. Like, yes, I thought Russ did this, and this. He was bad. So be it. But at least I waited to see what the result would be. And that's my only thing. Let's wait and see what the result was. Last 2 preseason games, I did the live stream too, and it was a completely different conversation. And a lot of these people that are in this chat right now that are saying the stuff that they're saying today, a lot of those people had a completely different tune the other live streams. And I just, I pay attention. I recognize the people. I know from comments and chats and stuff like that, there are a lot of people in this chat that are saying a lot of stuff that they weren't saying, the last week or two. That's just what it is. Lakers got too much point guards. Rob Pelinka should sign Mo Harkless. I would love Mo Harkless. One, I don't know if the Lakers are willing to pay him the $7 million or whatever that he would cost. 2, I don't know if Mo Harkless is actually going to want to come. What else? Sorry, trying to find something. Y'all talking like he need to take more shots in a preseason game. Laker fans are delusional. That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense to me. What is he doing besides scoring, turning the ball over? The guy had the same amount of turnovers as LeBron. What he's doing is setting picks. It's fighting over screens, playing defense, playing under control, trying to get other guys involved. He had 1 live game turnover. That is it. 1 live game turnover. And he had how many assists did he have? He had 4 assists. He had 4 assists and 1 live game turnover, took 3 shots. That's, again, there's more to it than just that. You have to score. Russ can't score and turn the ball over way too much. When that happens, rest of the players drop their heads. That's not what happened today at all. At all. And Russ has played fine the last few days. Also, not saying this just for the sake of a trade, but if Russ want to be back on the map, Charlotte will do that. He'll easily be the guy again, which he can still do, but just not on this team. Yeah, look, I think the Wizards and Charlotte make a lot of sense for us. I really do. The Lakers have 3 bench players that can make other rosters. Laker fans, stop hoping for more from these players. The G Leagues have better players. All right, let's sure. Jay Crowder needed. I just don't think he comes. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find stuff to me. I appreciate you taking the time to address our Philippine comments. That's cool. Well, thank you. Of course. Look, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, whether we agree on stuff, whether we disagree on stuff, whether it's good, bad, ugly, whatever. It's about the conversation. Look, this is YouTube. It's good fun. It's entertainment. I'm not some insider. I'm not some big guru or something like that. Guy that has a channel that enjoys talking the game of basketball, enjoys talking Lakers. That's what it's all about. I want to hear. I want to see. I go in order. I answer all the questions. I talk to all the chats. We're going to agree on some stuff. We're going to disagree on other things. That's what it's about. It's what sports is about, right? It's a beautiful thing, and I love it. If it was not for the Ryan guy shooting 3-pointers last game, they would have lost that one too. Yeah, probably. They're really 0-5. Yeah. If you're going to be a winner, you have to win on the floor. It's preseason. We played for 3 of those games. We played the entire second half with all of our rookies. It's about trying to get guys. Again, I mentioned it earlier. Go look at the wins and losses for all the good teams and all the bad teams. The teams that have the best records are almost all the terrible teams. All the teams that are probably not going to do anything this season. Because, again, it's preseason. Again, it's not excuses. It's understanding reality. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something to me. They're not the ones getting paid damn near 40 million. Yeah, but they're still players within the rotation. And Russ is still the third option. Look, I understand people like to look at his salary, but he's not the only guy. If he's the only guy and he's playing this way, sure, I understand that. But he is the third guy on this team. His salary is because the Lakers decided to go trade for his salary, and some other team decided to give him that. You can't look at his salary. You can't base his salary on production when he's the third guy. He was paid as a number one guy because he was at the time that he got paid. He's no longer that same number one guy. So you can't base his production on his salary. It's not the same thing. Why are you making up for him if he was going to change the way he said he would, play every game well? Nobody plays every game well. I don't understand that. Name me one player that has never had a bad game. Tell me one player that has never had a bad game. There is every play. Jordan had bad games. LeBron's had bad games. LeBron shot 0-7 in preseason. This year, one bad game is not the same thing. You were right on Russ. Yeah, thank you. Let's see. If Russ was paid $4 million, he'd be fantastic. Yeah, the problem is we never paid him. We never gave him the contract. I predict the Lakers will start out 2 of 8 in the first 10 games. Well, we'll see. Maybe you're right. You're not getting it. There are other players not getting the court because of Russell Westbrook. Okay, who are those players that are overall better than Russell Westbrook? Didn't you say earlier that – weren't you the one that said earlier that, Dennis Schroeder can't do this, that, the other? So that, who's going to be more productive than Russell Westbrook that you should start over him? Kendrick Nunn, maybe, but you could just start Kendrick Nunn next to Westbrook. Patrick Beverley, he's looked awful. Again, who is it? He doesn't. Who deserves those minutes? That can't get the minutes next to us. Who? Who's on this roster that deserves all of those minutes? You don't see the Lakers winning 35. You don't think the Lakers are more than 2 games better than last season? That makes no sense to me at all. Y'all Laker fans are delusional. Y'all really need to start Austin Reeves. Y'all think starting Austin Reeves is an option. Starting. I lost my place. They're not playing great. Okay, sure. As a Sixers fans, here's a word of advice and realization. The Lakers are a misfit, bad basketball team, and y'all roster is weak overall. The Sixers should be y'all blueprint. They have built a complete team. How many championships have they had in the last few years? How did they do with James Harden? How many points did James Harden have in the last closeout game? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yes, there is better players out there, and we did not make the trade. It will haunt the Lakers. Who is the better players out there? Who was out there that were better players? You're saying better players, maybe better fits, possibly. But is it worth selling the farm? Russ looked bad on defense. Lakers lack fundamentals on defense, like stopping the ball when the opposing team is coming down the court. Today looked terrible. They haven't looked like that in every single preseason game. I was just at the game. Westbrook was awful. He needs to go. Westbrook had one bad game. He'll be fine. Is Lonnie Walker injury cause for concern? I don't think so. I mean, we'll get the full report tomorrow, so we'll find out, in the next, day, 24 hours or so. So I don't. If it's sprained ankle, I mean, look at JTA. They sat JTA, and he played the next game. So I think it'll be all right. I just want regular season to start, bro. Me too. I really do. I really do. Just to see, just to put a end to it one way or another. Look, like I said, if they're terrible, they're terrible. I don't know either way. I just want to get a first regular season game also so we can kind of know what to expect. Is Lonnie Walker okay? I believe so. I mean, we'll see. I don't want to jump to conclusions either way because we don't know what it was. I'm sure we'll find out in the next game or two. People are going off on Russ today. Sure, he didn't have a great game, but so did a lot of people. It seems like Russ done something personal to all these people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Russ can't be the scapegoat for every bad game. He can't. Leave Westbrook alone. Yeah. LeBron said he's happy with the look we got. They just weren't falling. And that's exactly what it was. Like, we just weren't making shots. We had a lot of really wide open we had a lot of wide open shots. We had a lot of shots in general, and they just weren't falling. You need to shoot better, period. Lakers can't make 15-footers. We do. Absolutely. I agree. It was one bad game. The game before that, we shot the lights out. Like, it happens. You have good games, you have bad games. I care about more consistency than anything. Let's see. They're going to get blown out by Golden State on Wednesday. Well, the game's Tuesday, and they will not get blown out. Let's see. They really act like Buddy Hield is going to turn himself into multiple man from X-Men. That's what I'm saying. One shooter is not going to change the fate of the Lakers. It's just not. It's not we suck, bro. Too many guards, and Westbrook doesn't fit. He never did. Like I said, let's play a couple regular season games first before we find out. Let's see. You were right. Everyone was terrible. Everyone was terrible. It was a bad game. But I don't understand Russ being the scapegoat every single game. Like, if everyone played great and Russ played terrible, I could understand the chat today. I could understand people reacting the way that they do. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. Let's see. There are no positives. We see the same thing over and over with Russ. He will have one good game and then 5 bad ones. That's not true at all. Last year, of course, he wasn't a great fit, but his history shows he's been very consistent. You don't average a triple-double year in and year out unless you are consistent, for one. And there's always positives. Always positives. After watching 3/4 of the starters in the main rotations, I can confidently say this year's team is nowhere near the bubble team because of one game. What about all the other games where they look great? It's a matter of when, not if. Exactly, Blanca. You get it. We did poor in preseason and regular season. Yes, but we also so you're looking at the past. So if we're looking at the past, let's go into the past. What was it? 2009, 2010. We went what 1-5 in preseason and we won the championship. There was another year where we went 2-3 and we won the championship. So again, preseason doesn't translate to win. The Kings, the Sacramento Kings, went undefeated last year in the preseason. I don't have many hopes anymore after seeing this game. Russ sucks and we are small. We'll be all right. Like I said, it's one bad game. So are several other teams. The Brooklyn Nets have only won one game. The Denver Nuggets have only won one game. The Dallas Mavericks have only won one game. Sacramento is still undefeated. Who else? Memphis is 2-2. Cleveland has only won one game. Boston is 2-1. Toronto is 2-1. So are all those teams in danger? Are all those teams in trouble? Oh, no, what happened? Sorry, give me a second. I lost the chat. Salute. What's going on, Gideon? Salute. He's still the same, Russ. He still had old defense tonight against his own man, turned the ball over during comebacks, took poor shots, and hurt team coverage. How do you take poor shots when you took 2 shots, or when you took 3 shots? One was a layup, which he made, and the other 2 were wide open threes that he missed. So what was a bad shot? turning the ball over, he had three turnovers, which LeBron had the same amount, and 2 of those were dead ball turnovers. Only 1 was a live game turnover. And so again, I don't understand that. And during the comeback, when did he turn the ball over during the comeback? When we had the comeback, he wasn't even in the game. I know the bots, they never go anywhere. Personally, I think the whole have to is an overrated term to me. I like using the word need to when something isn't necessary. Have to relate to having the right to do something. Excellent point. Excellent point. It's not about the preseason record. Shaking my head, it's bad basketball, and I can't see how you don't see that. What other games did the Lakers have bad basketball with the starters in the rotation, guys? What? All the other games, the starters and the rotation guys played great. Great. We were winning all those games, all those matchups with the starters and the rotation guys. We lost those games once we put in the rookies and we let them, play the entire second half, which I'm not concerned of. One basketball game, you're talking about one game, and you're taking that one game and completely ignoring all the other games we just played, and you're taking this one game as it doesn't matter about the other. So what if we had you're talking 90%, 10% of the overall games we've played so far have looked terrible, has been bad basketball. All the other games have been great. Let's see. Just because you don't have to do something, you still have the right to do something. I like using the word need to. Yeah, that's true. That's an excellent point. I am a Knicks fan, but it is stupid for people to overreact to preseason. That's my point too. I don't know why people are overreacting. Lakers are going to run LeBron and AD to the ground again this year. We'll see. We will see. If Russ is starting and is an actual contribution, then you're winning because of Russ. Russ is contributing to those wins. Like if Russ is a player on the court that is doing stuff, then he's part of winning, just like he would be part of losing. Last I checked, the game of basketball is a team sport. It takes all individuals that are on the court playing the game of basketball. Russ is going to have a significant role and a significant piece this season. So I don't know how you could say we'll be winning despite Russ if he's a big part of this team and has significant roles and plays significant minutes, things like that. You're really going to compare LeBron's turnover and production to Russ? Wow. So yes, because even last year, Russ averaged what? Russ averaged 4 turnovers a game last season, and LeBron averaged 3.5. Also, there was an entire narrative of LeBron James turning the ball over far too much, and even he addressed it and said, I need to take care of the ball more. And the very next game had 6 turnovers and continued that. This preseason, he actually has more turnovers than Russ does this preseason as a total. He's averaging more turnovers than Russ this preseason. So again, yes, it's comparison. If we're going to be fair, then we need to be, you can't say Russ is a turnover machine and not equate LeBron to being a turnover machine as well. Like if it's fair across the board, if we're not being biased here, then that's what that is. Watching the live stream. Watching the live stream. Well, thank you. I was trying to see what the noted. Even if we start 2-0 in the regular season, we will still know that Russ doesn't fit. We will be winning despite him, not because of him. Okay, man. I already answered that question. Reeves is not a better player than Russell Westbrook. Neither is Lonnie Walker. None is not an overall better player than Westbrook, but none is a better fit, definitely. Better fits. I still don't think Austin Reeves is a better fit. Austin Reeves is hot and cold. He still has a lot to work on. I mean, look, I really like Austin Reeves a lot, but he has a lot that he still needs to improve. You really think Matt Ryan can make this team? I don't. I don't think he's going to make it. Matt Ryan, casual game. Hornets is better than Indiana trade. Depending on what we could get from the Hornets, I do. What's going on, Nike? Appreciate you being here. What is up? Our bigs are trash. They're not trash. They played pretty solid today. Russ had refused to get medal during the game with Pat Bev, LeBron, AD, and Lonnie Walker. Yeah, that's a real cause of concern for me. I don't know what that's about. That I didn't like that at all. Jones and Thomas not enough. He is looking trash with this team. They're fine. Anybody who knows, anyone who plays basketball knows you need touches and reps to get rhythm. Maybe no one could shoot tonight because of the experiment with the lineup. Ryan didn't even play until the second quarter after that. But because of the but they all started the same thing. Like they shot around and shoot around. These guys started all this. Like they got their reps. Everybody took shots, stuff like that. Like guys have bad shooting nights. Are you talking about specifically Ryan? If you're talking specifically about Ryan, then yeah, I can understand. Like you did say Ryan didn't play until the second quarter, but you're not going to start him. Like in the regular season, you're not going to start him. Great shooting game he had last game, but Westbrook was out there, though. We know he's never been a good shooter. Westbrook is not a good shooter. That I am. I'm done fussing. Thanks for reading the comments, though. Appreciate you. Of course. Look, like I said, it's all about the conversation. Like, I don't take any of this stuff personal. I do. We're just having fun. It's YouTube. Nothing's that serious. And I do. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone that leaves comments, whether we agree, disagree, everybody that supports any of that stuff. I do. I really do. So don't think that, just because we're having a little back and forth that I'm like, screw this guy. No, I really appreciate it. I do. Because again, it's just sports. That's what it's all about. Talking, having fun, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. I do. I really appreciate the conversation. Sorry, trying to find Pippen Jr. don't deserve to rock that jersey. Yeah, he needs some growth. I think he has a lot of potential, but he needs to develop definitely. Also, Lakers need to rebound and guard the perimeter. Lakers do have the talent, but they need some things to work on. Yeah, absolutely. I also equate a lot of like the rebounding woes to preseason, because you see it with most teams, and even Anthony Davis tonight. Like you saw a lot of times like where he'll usually go and fight for a board. He just kind of like let the guy get it, and you see that in preseason period. You'll see guys like, oh, he's got better position than me, so let him go get the ball. Let him just have the ball. Now let's get back on defense. It's just kind of those things. The 2 turnovers stepping on the baseline are for sure live ball turnovers. No, those are dead ball turnovers. Those result into the defense being able to set. Live ball turnovers are when you're in the scope of the game, you turn the ball over, and the team's running the other way in transition. If the Lakers do work on rebounding, defense, three-point shooting, and teamwork, they will improve, but time will tell. Yeah, look, this team is far from perfect. They have a lot of things that they need to improve on, work on, but all teams do. Again, it's preseason. This is the point. This is what you're trying to do. Let's see. I don't know why the free throw are so poor percentage. I would be afraid of fallacy. Yeah, that's my biggest cause of concern too. And what's crazy is the game before this, like we only missed one free throw the entire game, and we took like 20. So I don't know. I don't know if it was just a bad game all around, and chalk it up to that, or if that's really something to look forward to. Darvin Ham, like copying from Frank Vogel's rotation. Look, it's preseason. You got to test stuff. You got to try things out. How do you know unless you try things out? Also, I like giving advice by using you statements instead of we or I statements. Personally, using we or I statements sounds kind of arrogant. I won't attack people, but sometimes telling people things they don't want to hear, I can understand that. I didn't say the Lakers will do those things. I implied strategies for them to improve. Absolutely. They definitely need to do those things. Reeves is developing well. Can be a neo Danny Green. Yeah, look, I think he has a ton of potential. I think he could definitely be a solid rotation guy and a solid player, period. But he definitely needs some more work. Russ was talking to the refs. That's why he didn't join the huddle. Okay. Yeah, I did see. I just remember. I don't remember saying that. I'll have to go back to double check though. Um, as currently constructed, I got the Lakers finishing ninth. Where do you got them finishing? Somewhere in the 4 to 6 range. But again, I could be wrong. Let's see. We in here talking about preseason, not a game, not a game, not a game. We in here talking about preseason, man. Practice. Talk about practice, practice. Have a good night, everyone. Can't wait for the season. I agreed with you, and have a good night, Gideon. I really appreciate you. Yeah, we talking about practice, practice. Dude, that's still like my favorite like interview ever. Like that was great. I love that. Russ got to go, bud. We need length of shooting. But who's out there? Who's out there? And Buddy Hield and Miles Turner have been terrible this preseason. Free throws, 3-point shooting, all goes by the law of averages. Hot and cold games are outliers. Yeah, exactly. I agree. But we're at the end of the chat. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm going to actually skate on out of here. I still got to make my video breakdown of it because, I always do the video afterwards, do the live stream, and then do the video because I know not everyone sees the live streams or joins the live streams. But nonetheless, I really appreciate all of you. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, please. It really helps me out a lot. And I really do appreciate the conversations and discussions, whether we agree, disagree, whatever. Again, it's all fun. It's all just entertainment. And I really enjoy having these discussions, having these conversations. But nonetheless, I do. I really appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, all of that stuff. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you.